At the foot of the lonely mountain in Middle-earth stands a magnificent dwarf kingdom. This place is rich in gems and gold, with the most precious being the Arkenstone that represents supreme royal power. However, the dwarves' glory didn't last long as they caught the eye of Smaug, a greedy dragon. Under his fierce attack, the dwarf kingdom quickly fell. The elves, though allies, stood by and did nothing out of fear. The homeless dwarves decided to retreat to their ancient realm, but it was already occupied by pale orcs. To reclaim their homeland, the dwarves fought a fierce battle against the orcs. The enemy was too strong, and the old king was quickly killed. As the dwarves were losing ground, Prince Thorin cut off a pale orc's arm and drove the orc army back. After this battle, half the dwarves were dead or wounded. To survive, Thorin went to a human town and worked as a blacksmith. For years, he wanted to gather all dwarves and rebuild their kingdom, but dwarf tribes only follow the owner of the Arkenstone, which was lost in the treasury when the dragon invaded. Now the dragon guards the treasury, making it impossible to retrieve the stone. One day, Gandalf recommended a specialist to Thorin, Bilbo Baggins, a hobbit. Hobbits are good at sneaking around and aren't greedy, making them perfect for secret missions. But when Bilbo heard there was no payment and he might die at any moment, he refused on the spot. The next day, after the dwarves had left, Bilbo's adventurous spirit suddenly awoke. He grabbed the contract, ran after Thorin, and joined their team. That night, 2 horses went missing from their group. After investigating, the dwarves found that trolls had taken them. During the rescue attempt, Bilbo was caught by the trolls and treated as prey. Just as Bilbo was about to be eaten, Thorin led the dwarves to charge in. But the trolls were tough and hard to beat. Within moments, the dwarves were put on a roasting rack. Just as they were about to be cooked, Gandalf finally arrived. In the sunlight, the trolls instantly turned to stone. Since defeating enemies usually yields some loot, everyone entered the trolls' cave. After searching, they found a pile of gold coins and 3 precious swords forged by high elves. These swords had a special feature. They glowed blue whenever orcs were nearby. After leaving the cave, Gandalf met his old friend, the Brown Wizard. While they were catching up, 2 giant wolves, orc mounts, appeared behind everyone. They had fallen into an orc army ambush. Seeing this, the Brown Wizard jumped on his sled and drew away the orc army. Controlling his rabbits with amazing agility, he made the giant wolves run in circles. The dwarves seized the chance to escape. Perhaps because of Thorin's bad luck, he was spotted by orcs after just a few steps. At the critical moment, Gandalf discovered a cave where they could hide. They followed the crack and eventually reached elven territory. Despite the bad blood between the 2 races, the elves welcomed them warmly. After resting for a night, Thorin set out again for the lonely mountain. Then Thorin's bad luck struck again. They encountered stone giants fighting while climbing the mountain. As they say, when giants fight, ordinary folks suffer. Minutes later, one stone giant lost its head and fell into the valley. The dwarves took the chance to hide in a cave, but as they were resting, Thorin's bad luck returned. The ground suddenly split open, and they all fell into an underground orc city. Bilbo was even more unfortunate, falling into a deeper crevice. There, Bilbo met a strange creature. This was a mutated hobbit. Though skinny as a chicken, he had just eaten a strong orc. Seeing fresh meat drop before him, the hungry Gollum didn't want to let Bilbo go. To escape the crevice, Bilbo and Gollum played a riddle game. If Gollum couldn't guess correctly, he'd have to lead Bilbo out. If Bilbo lost, he'd become Gollum's meal. After 3 rounds, they were tied. Finally, Bilbo asked an almost impossible question.
What have I got in my pocket?
Gollum couldn't guess it even after 3 tries. Just as Gollum was about to cheat, he discovered his precious treasure was missing. But only Bilbo was there besides him. Seeing trouble coming, Bilbo ran. He got stuck while passing through a rock crack, and Gollum was about to pounce on him. With a hard push, Bilbo escaped to the other side just in time. By chance, the fallen ring slipped onto his finger. The next second, Bilbo became invisible and escaped Gollum's pursuit. Meanwhile, Thorin had been captured by the orc army. Just as they were about to be killed, Gandalf, master of both magic and combat, descended into the underground city.
Take up arms. Fight!
Soon, the dwarves cut a bloody path under Gandalf's leadership. As they were about to exit the underground city, the massive Goblin King suddenly blocked their way.
What are you going to do now, wizard? That'll do it.
After defeating him, they finally found the tunnel out. At the same time, the invisible Bilbo also reached the exit, but Gollum was already waiting there. Bilbo thought about killing him, but ultimately couldn't bring himself to do it. Then Bilbo pushed past Gollum and ran out of the cave. The group had barely reunited when Thorin attracted the orcs again. They fled from day to night, finally getting cornered at a cliff edge. With nowhere to go, everyone climbed trees. Seeing this, the pale orc ordered giant wolves to attack the trees. Soon the trees were knocked down one after another, forcing everyone onto the last tree with a deep canyon below them. As the wolves kept attacking, Gandalf lit pine cones to create a wall of fire, temporarily driving away the wolves. Thorin charged at the pale orc, but in just one exchange, he was knocked to the ground. Just as he was about to be beheaded, Bilbo rushed over and killed the orc. At that moment, the giant eagles Gandalf had summoned arrived. They defeated the wolves and carried Thorin and the others toward the Lonely Mountain. Meanwhile, the dragon that had been sleeping in gold coins for 60 years woke up. It seemed that a great battle was inevitable if they wanted to rebuild the Dwarf Kingdom.